And welcome back to the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. This is the United Stand. Match day here, Manchester United 2, Rangers 1 in the Europa League. It's a huge result on reflection of how this went. It means that Manchester United only need 1 point from their remaining game to qualify for the knockout stage. Joining me, as always, a star-studded panel. On the end, we've got Ricky. How are we, sir?
Sound, Kev.
He's in great form. He can't wait to talk about Bruno Fernandes. And from Countdown to Kickoff, he's joining us again. Part of the old guard again is Jordan. Yes?
2-1 I called it, 2-1 it was.
And did you call 2-1?
I called 2-1.
Love that. You can come back again anytime. Yeah. And Mordzs.
Yeah,
well, enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the game was a bit tiring. It was a little bit of a boring game, but I'm very interested in what Ricky has to say about this because...
Yes. Well, we will go over to the Godfather. I'm sure there's lots of people in the comment wants to know, like, Bruno gets the winner, what's Ricky thinking? But there's so many stories here, and we will get into it in a bit. Obviously, the choice of keeper, the team selection in general when it first come out. But Ricky, I suppose the main question is, are you happy?
I'm pleased they've won. I've looked at the table. They're more or less guaranteed to be in that top 8 now. To get through. They didn't have to have a playoff game to get to the last 16.
It's a huge goal.
It's usually important.
Considering
goal,
the circumstances.
Usually important win without a shadow of a doubt. He'll be pleased to in those 2 particular weeks when them playoff games are now. He'll have a week with his squad, won't he? Which he keeps talking about needing. You know what I mean? So it might not just be the bonus that we're through to the last 16, but the bonus that we can work on things before in between league games, if you like.
Yeah.
So I think the manager will be over the moon with that. I thought we played quite well today, the first half especially. I thought we really kept the ball neatly at times, and we looked a bit better than we've looked as normal. Obviously, we will discuss this, and the lads will have their own opinions, but, they're second in the Scottish League, and I think they're well behind, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I don't like to discredit other leagues, I really don't. I'm fed up of hearing people discrediting the Italian League, but the Italian League's another level, again, don't get me wrong. But the Scottish League, I'll answer this question. Where would Rangers be if they're in the Premier League? Would they be above Southampton even?
They'd be in the Championship.
Do you think they'd be in the...
It's a good question, that.
I think they probably would. But I don't like discrediting other leagues. So, is that our level that we can look quite good and still need a late goal to nick it against, what would probably be no disrespect if any Rangers fans are watching, but, that's how it seems to me.
You will get that. You'll get it's the Farmers League and all this. You get it with certain teams. But, Ricky, I just wanted to say, in terms of the first half performance, the second half, they did seem to step it up. Was there anything that you've seen in particular? I know you're a big advocate last week against Brighton, and you were tearing your hair out. You were saying we need this extra man in the midfield. He's obviously gone with Collier and Bruno. It become very apparent with Eriksen playing up top. Did you see that working, or are you still of the opinion that he needs that extra man in the midfield?
Look, against another team we probably would, but we have been. Against everybody, we've been conceding loads of chances. I know they had 2 good chances in the first half, didn't they? We played Southampton here the other week. They must have had 6 good chances in the first half. So it's a step in the right direction. I thought we looked after the ball better. It wasn't so much about defending better, but it was about not giving the ball away cheaply too often, which in the first half, by the way, I still thought Bruno did a few times. I thought there was a few sloppy passes by Bruno in the first half.
I must say there was a few instances where I was like, Ricky's going to be...
I got a message on Beth at half-time saying to me, Bruno looks better in the deeper role. And I messaged her back, I'll tell you who looks better, Eriksen in the 10. The crispness of his passing there. Watching that first half, the amount of touches Bruno takes on the ball when he gets it, and Eriksen's so alert. He gets a touch and passes it, or regularly gives it first time. Gives it first time. To me, honestly, I know he played as a 10 today. To me, he looks another level. Yeah.
I'd just like to say, Sean, welcome to the United Stand Members Club, and Majuho. Again, these names, I hope you've not caught me out, says, have some tissues on me, Ricky, Bruno for president. I've got a feeling there'll be a running theme this evening of people going in, but, at least as Manchester United fans, we can celebrate. We have to, because at a stage when that equaliser went in, Jordan, you know, we were down to 9th, and we're looking, thinking, for God's sake, it's Groundhog Day. We've managed to do it. On reflection, was it more about the result than the performance this evening?
I think we needed the result. I remember, I think it was the first Europa League game, we sat in the countdown to kick off and we named teams. I said, look, if he can't finish in the top however many, like, it was 10 out at the time.
We only named about 4, I think, that we thought might finish above us.
And then after that game, we went, actually, there's probably about 20.
Yeah.
So to be sat here now and, how tight that league is and going from picking 1 point up today to picking up 3 was such a big difference. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. The opportunity for this manager then to not have those extra fixtures and have the ability to be able to work on things on the training pitch will hopefully help us later on in the season. I definitely thought the first half we did hold on to the ball better. It's funny, when the team got announced, we were talking, and I said, didn't I, that I think Eriksen's in the 10.
Yeah.
And Bruno is playing a bit further back, and I'm so glad that happened. I do agree. I think it is a specialist role, and Eriksen played it so much better than Bruno seems to play. He just keeps it really simple, like you said, a lot of first touch passes. And you know what the other thing is? He just always seems to be available.
Yeah.
He's always an option. They may not take the option, but he's an option. Bruno did give the ball away quite a bit in the first half and sat in the stands. That he just frustrates people a lot.
You can hit people around you, can't you?
Groaning. As soon as he, tries Hollywood.
He's not been in your ear before you come in the studio, has he?
No,
see what's happening here.
People around me were groaning.
The Godfathers, the influencer.
Yeah.
They're not always Hollywood passes either.
No,
sometimes they're just fairly simple passes.
Simple
Too sloppy.
Simple things.
Sorry.
Or the other thing is just doing too much on the edge of the box and taking a shot. There was something in the first half, and I remember it was just like, shoot, take the shot. And then Martinez ended up taking the shot. And great shot, keeper saved it, and so on and so forth. But he does divide opinion. But, great goal that they scored. I thought the way their striker...
Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it?
Touch and finish, unbelievable. But, he showed some fight and went and got a second goal. So, good all round.
Yeah, I'm just looking at King Khan in the normal United Stand Ultra chat, as I would say, saying, what a madness, you guys are chatting, Bruno won us the game. We are aware of that, but we like to try and break the game down and talk about it. If you didn't see that with your own eyes, then I'm not sure what you were watching. On reflection, Mordzs, you can't not be happy with that, and the kind of style and manner that we've done that. And second half, I thought we did boss the game to a certain extent, and it was almost like if we didn't get that second goal and kill this game off, and then it happened, didn't it? The equaliser, it was like, oh, for God's sake, here we go again. Yeah,
we did have chances as well. My main problem with, there's only really 2 players in particular that do this a lot, and it's Bruno and Garnacho. Is like, for example, if you go and look at the stats for the game, I'm sure we probably had a lot of shots, probably like 8 shots on targets and 15 to 20 shots in general. But then you probably look and see most of them probably came from Bruno and Garnacho, and a lot of them probably were outside the box as well. And we get chances where you just think one more pass in between, one more pass down the line. I think there was one opportunity where he's gone for the shot, he's faked it, and he's played the pass. I think it might have been to Ahmad or somebody, and we might not have scored. I don't think we scored. But I just thought, if we just kept on doing that more, if half of the times we took those shots, we played the pass instead, we probably would have had way better chances. I probably would have scored a couple more goals just from doing that. But I say we again, it's mainly just 2 players keep on taking these shots over and over again. And the times where Garnacho didn't take the shot and he took it down the line, we had a way better chance of the time where he took it down the line and he crossed it into Bruno. Bruno had a good chance. Later on in the game, Ahmad took it down the line, crossed it back into Garnacho when he hit the post. It happened over and over again. And if we keep on doing these kind of things, we're going to get better chances of going to score more goals. It's just we're a little bit wasteful when it comes to just being in front of the goal. Well,
one of the classic examples of that this evening, when we got in round the back, was it Ahmad that pulled it back for Garnacho, the one where he hit the post? When he gets to the byline and actually puts in, you've got Xerxes, and that is effective. I did feel, Ricky, that for large parts of that first half we were kind of... I don't know whether we can pay Rangers, a lot of sort of credit for the fact that they restricted us to long-range shots, but you did see Bruno on his left foot trying a wild shot where it was like, Come on, mate, try and keep the ball. Garnacho had a couple. There was the one where the defender headed it. I think that was going in.
Garnacho had one where he should have scored, in my opinion. He was only about 14 yards out. And from where I sat, I didn't see a deflection, but we got a corner. Do you remember it? From where I was in the north stand, but quite far the other end.
Is that the first half?
So first half, so I was behind it.
So it was ahead of that.
Right.
No, it came to Garnacho around 14 yards out on the floor. And he smashed it, and it went over the bar, and I thought he'd just hit it over the bar, but it got a corner, so it must have got deflected off someone. But there was, from where I was sitting, I could see there's a massive gap that he should just be slotting it into, and he should have, to me, he could have placed it in the corner with the inside of his foot, and instead he smashed it with his laces, and it went over the top. Whether it was on target or not, it might have been, because obviously, like I say, we got a corner.
And the thing is, even when we were watching the game, I kept on saying, like, I think Garnacho's having a decent game today. Like, he's not as wasteful as in terms of like losing the ball. He's keeping the ball a little bit better. He's keeping things moving, because a lot of the times the reason why we get onto Garnacho is he'll get the ball and he'll lose it straight away, and it's like, oh, you lost it, now you're out of possession, you're not getting back quick enough, etc. It's a bit frustrating. But I actually thought throughout the game Garnacho was having a decent game, but it's weird with Garnacho because I feel like he does a hard thing well and the easy thing poor, if that makes sense. Like, he'll get into the right position, he'll take on his defender, he'll get into the right place, he'll make the right run, and it's like, okay, like I said before, just that one cross, just that one finish. You see, like, if
he does the hard work.
He does the hard bit, but then it's like let me not say it's easy, because none of it's easy, obviously, but it's the bit at the end that you kind of expect him to get right. When he's done the difficult part, that's the bit he sometimes gets wrong. And that's why, in my opinion, this whole Garnacho conversation about whether he should go, whether he should stay, I've always been on the side of, I think he should stay. But then when people say, but would you take 70, 80 million? You know what? I would take 70 million because that's a lot of money, but I just still think he is useful to this team because he can still do things that are positive.
But that's what I was saying to you, like, since the whole speculation about him leaving, I've not seen anything that makes me go, we cannot sell this player. I haven't. I like, you've hit the nail on the head. He does the hard things, but then the simple things, like for me with the shot in the second half where you thought it was the header, he's controlled the ball and he's hit the post. Like, put it in the back of the net. Like, just do it. But yeah, no, I don't want to sell him. But you're right. If somebody comes knocking with the right money, then I think we're in a position where we're going to have to take it. They're talking about raising prices. But anyway, let's not talk about that. What I want to talk about is Harry Maguire. He must be the happiest man on that pitch today because he's cost us a goal at both ends. Because how he didn't score that header, how he did not score that header, I will never know. Yeah. Like, as soon as the ball was in the air, I've looked, I'm like, that's it, he scored. He didn't. And then the mistake at the other end within space of 10 minutes. Absolute shocker. So he must be Bruno's biggest fan right now, apart from Ricky.
Some super chats have rattled in. Space Cowboy says, Ricky, what's your... keeps him fitting with Garnacho, actually. What's your opinion on selling Garnacho? And has Goldbridge abused you like he has to everyone else that thinks 50 million is good business?
I watched Mark the other night. I thought, was it yesterday? I can't remember. And he was saying that, that we've got to get 70 million for him, and he'll go to. I heard him say he'll go to Serie A and he'll lap it up, and in 5 years' time they'll sell him and get the money back, or even a profit.
Or United will buy him back.
I don't see it. I just do not see it. You know what I mean? To me, he's just a decent player. He's got a bit of pace about him. Touch lets him down too often, runs into trouble too often, makes poor decisions too often. It's just
Do you not think there's something to work with there, Ricky, though, considering his age? You know, when we look at Garnacho and Rashford, two players that potentially could leave in January, fair enough, Rashford should be peak, or should be in his peak years. He clearly is not. Whereas, do you not think the manager's looking and thinking, and maybe even starting him this evening, is that a sign that maybe he doesn't want to sell him and it's more an Ineos or board decision that if they can get a certain fee for him, then let's push him out the door?
Yeah, you mentioned that he got a start tonight. I think he did he not start at the weekend as well? He's had quite a bit of game time. He did, didn't he? Yeah. He's had quite a bit of game time. That's the reason I'm asking that question of, from the manager's point of view.
I can't imagine I could imagine it actually, that he's being forced to play him to try and drive up the fee.
And he played him for 90 minutes.
For January.
Yeah. Whole game.
Yeah.
I suppose anything's possible in this game, innit? It could be that reason, but I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that the manager likes him and maybe he wants him to stay.
That's what I think.
Or we just don't have a lot of options. Like, let's take that into consideration. We don't have a lot of players in that position.
Yeah, but there's so many. To me, there are so many different options. Like he's rested Ugarte and Mainu today. They don't really need a rest. I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? They one of them could have started, and then Bruno could have played in a 10 like Eriksen. You know what I mean? Like Bruno normally plays as a 10.
But we have been doing that. We've been losing.
Yeah. So there's enough options, I think, not to have to use.
Mark says we need to talk about Ahmad's selfishness. It's becoming a real problem. The guy refuses to pass the ball near the box. Rudolph the Red says, welcome back to the United Stand, the Welsh Wizard. That's one for Jordan. The fuzzy one says, did you work on the Hulk Hogan impression, Kev? That one's totally gone over my head. I don't remember going, whoa, or anything. Brian Dale says, Jordan's an OG now. Love your opinions, mate. Hey, if you've seen him on Countdown to Kickoff early, if you want to watch that later on, he went full blown. What was wrong with you, man?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
It was incredible.
Did you go full blast?
It was like he was possessed.
Yeah, I did. I needed to get some stuff off my chest.
I likened it to a volcano erupting. So if you want to watch that later on, obviously watch this first. And get back and see that. Daniel says he was showing what we will miss, a great player. Obviously, I think this is Garnacho. I think this is someone that's resigned to the fact that Garnacho's leaving, even though he hasn't yet. Fernando says, good win tonight, a decent performance, but we still know this team. I don't know if we will see the same against Fulham. We will struggle. Ricky, is that the concern at the moment? How many times we talk about consistency with this team? Yes, this evening you have to. You've said it. No disrespect to Rangers. You look at the opposition. You look at where Manchester United and Rangers, are really in the pyramid or whatever. Obviously, different leagues or whatever. But is the concern really that come to Sunday's game against Fulham that the foot comes off the pedal again slightly?
It's going to be a right hard game, isn't it? Fulham are doing really well, aren't they? I think they're about 7 points above us in the table, aren't they? 7 points above us. Yeah. So it's obviously going to be a tough game. It always is there. So, the league is where your bread and butter is. And as I say, and I'll repeat it, no disrespect to the Scottish League, no disrespect to Rangers. We're not really sure. Like Jordan said, they'd probably be in the Championship. They might well be, but they might. If you put them in the Premier League for a season, maybe they might just escape by the skin of the teeth, So we don't really know, do we? But what we do know is it's not like playing against Liverpool or Man City or Arsenal, is it? You know what I mean? That's another level again. So is that where we're at, that we can just control the game and still need a winning goal in injury time, by the way? Yeah. But is that where we're at, that we control a game against a team who would struggle in the let's just be dead honest, they'd struggle in the Premier League at best, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So you look at that.
But we can only beat who's in front of us.
Exactly.
And there's been times in the Europa League this season where we've drawn.
Yeah.
So we've got to win today. So let's just enjoy those moments, because I can see pain on Sunday against Fulham.
Fulham are a good team.
Yeah, Fulham.
It's a huge result on reflection of when you think we were sat in ninth. If it did end 1-1, Bruno scores that goal, and it just. In terms of that group now, it makes it, you've got that pathway now. You go away next Thursday night and you know that 1 point's enough to secure it. We're not going there, needing to win the game. Yeah. Not that I would expect for 1 minute we're going to go there and sit back. But let's rewind slightly. I'll come to you, Mordzs, on when the team news actually dropped this evening. I think the big talking point was, we ran a poll at the time before the team news come out. Would you start Bayinda over Onana?
Oh, yeah.
And I think, what was it, Jordan? It was about 91%. 91%, producer Greg's telling me in the ear, went with Bayinda. And this was before. The team news even dropped, right? Yeah. So we're kind of looking at this, and I'm trying to tell the audience, the United Stand community, that we're not being reactionary to the mistake at the weekend. Yeah. Jordan quite rightly said this is an accumulation of mistakes. Yeah. Did that surprise you? Because there's no doubt in my mind, I don't know about you, that was Onana being dropped this evening. That's not. have a rest, son. Put your feet up. I'm going to play Bayinda because Onana has played in the Europa League games.
Yeah. 100%. I think that is him being dropped. Usually, what teams will do is you'll have your main keeper for like Europe and Prem, and then your second keeper for like the FA Cup and League Cup competitions. And I remember the last game, which was Brighton, and he obviously made that mistake. I mean, we were on the forum talking about it. My own opinion was it's one too many now. Like I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I tried to. The reason why I was backing him up wasn't even because I'm a big Onana fan. I just don't like changing keepers. I've never been a fan of alternating keepers like week in, week out. Every time a keeper makes a mistake, bringing the next keeper. I've never really been a fan of doing that. But it was just one too many. I saw some stat. I don't think it's true, but it's probably close. That Onana's made so far something like 10 mistakes in the past year and a half. And De Gea in 12 years.
Cost us goals.
Yeah.
Everything to goal, something like that. And De Gea in his whole time has made like 17 or something like that.
17 mistakes in.
I don't know the exact
mistakes
numbers
that led to goals.
That led to
so
goals,
De Gea,
yeah.
it's 17 in 12 years. Onana, 10 in 2 years.
Is that what
That's
telling
it,
you?
We discussed it in the build-up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Sorry, 11 in 2 years. I had that wrong.
11 in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's
for Onana.
Criminal.
Them numbers, they should not, like, that's insane to me. Like, that's terrible number. That's not, oh, he's going to get better. That's, okay, this is who he is. He is a mistake-prone goalkeeper.
But if you continued at that ratio, you know, if
like
he stays at United for another 10 years,
It'd be like 100
like,
by the time he's done.
50, won't it?
Yeah. So
it's not sustainable.
It's not. That's for me. It's not like I said before. It's not a case of he's just getting used to playing for United. No, this is just him. Like he's a keeper that's going to make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. We cannot have that. As Manchester United, we should be having one of the best keepers in the world, if not the best keeper in the world, at least in the conversation for being the best keeper in the world. And especially you want to be competing for big trophies like Premier League, Champions League, you're going to need a keeper that's in that conversation regardless. Onana just isn't that guy. He's not that guy. So for me, buying their starting today, genuinely I was cool with it because, in my opinion, Onana's not going to be here for the long-term future regardless. Unless maybe Aram sees something different in him, I don't know. But if he's seeing what we're seeing, he's not going to keep him for the long term.
You can see him on the touchline, like every time he makes a mistake, you can see Amarin's frustration with him.
Yeah.
You can see his head's gone with it. And for me, like I was saying earlier, everyone focuses on what Onana does badly. Yes, we know what he does badly. But the things he's supposed to be good at, he's actually not good at. And he's not shown it. So this amazing playing out from the back and setting up attacks and all this, it isn't happening. So we've brought a keeper in today. For me, I thought he played really well. I can't see a reason for Onana to come back in against Fulham.
I think Bayinda will play.
I do too.
That's big. If he does that's big. Yeah. That means he's fully been dropped.
I think
Bayinda's been playing in the FA Cup, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Has he played? I've been playing in the League Cup.
He played in the League.
When we went out,
yeah,
Spurs.
but in the European game, it's normally
Onana.
Like you just said, he's dropped, and I think he'll stick with him.
Yeah. But there was a couple of corners or crosses that came in that he came out and claimed, and I looked at. I think there was one where he's touched it over the crossbar, and I said to the guy next to me, didn't know him from Adam, by the way. I said that would have went in the back of the net if Onana was in, and he looked at me and went, absolutely,
100%.
And it was just something really simple. But where we've conceded goals from corners or crosses, Bayinda just touched over the crossbar, and I just thought, Onana, there's no way he would have done it. Yeah. So yeah, I really hope he sticks with him and gives him a run of games, because especially goalkeeper, striker, you've got to have a run of games to build that confidence up. If he goes and plays 5-6 games in a row, you're going to see the real Bayinda, and then we can make a decision on him.
Before this game today, then, Ricky, you're Ruben Rowe. Would you have made this change? Because it is a big call. You think of we've been going through the goalkeepers earlier. You know, it took us from Peter Schmeichel leaving in '99 to get to Edwin van der Sar. And the keepers that we went through in that stage, you're talking Mark Bosnich, Barthez, Taibbi, Roy Carroll.
Krusty the Clown.
Everybody had a go in there.
Yeah.
But it did take us a long time. Do you actually look at this point in time and think that Onana's not that keeper? Or are we being too harsh here by... We're kind of right. We wrote him off against Brighton.
There's too many errors.
There's
too many errors. And that was a really poor error at the weekend. He's got to get hold of that ball at the weekend. And, you know, I think we said on the show afterwards that they were the better team and they were dominating the game. But I was sat next to a Rangers fan tonight, and I said to the Rangers fan, "You're still in this." There was about 20 minutes to play. And I said, "You're still in this." I said, "You will get a chance in the last 10 minutes." And they got 2. There was a day at the post, didn't they? Day at the post. That was on about 82 minutes. Then they got the goal. Obviously, I didn't know we were going to score again, but that's another subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was just going into injury time by the time the game restarted. So they did get that chance. They did get that goal. So I forgot what I was going to. Yeah, that's what I was going to go back to. So at the weekend, although they were easily the better side, Brighton, at 2-1, you're still in the game, and you probably will get a chance. So he's thrown our chance away, hasn't he?
Yeah. That was a huge error at the weekend, because we said even like in terms of how the game was going, but at 2-1 against Brighton, you think if we get a chance, we could come out of this like what do you call it, using your get out of jail free card, where we get a 2-2 draw. But that mistake, it's almost unforgivable, isn't it? It was that. I mean, schoolboys, Sunday league football. It was dreadful.
And what makes it even more frustrating is like I would be a little bit more forgiving if it was a case of like they've just had a lot of shots at Onana. Let's say like 20 shots at him, and he's missed one of them, and it's like, you know what? You can blame everyone because why they're having so many shots. Like, remember last season, we used to concede like 20 shots a game. It was insane. So you can be a little bit more forgiving, but the mistakes he's making, they're not even shots. Like the corners and the crosses, and it's like, and I remember that the Forest game, Gibbs White took a shot outside the box, and he pretty much went in a straight line down the middle of the goal, and it's like, I can imagine being a defender in front of Onana and being scared to even allow them to take a shot, because you're thinking there's a 50% chance this could go in regardless.
That one in that Brighton one, they were in the space of about 6 games, 7 games. Yeah. It's calamitous,
I feel like he has been found out by other teams, though.
Yeah.
The pressure they put on him on crosses, the way they're shooting on sight, he has been found out. So even for his own sake, he needs to be taken out of that team and out of the firing line. Even if it is 5-6 games before he is brought back in, for his own sake, he needs to. I got a real hang-up. I really haven't forgiven him for costing us Champions League football. Like, he single-handedly cost us Champions League football.
That was.
Like the group stage.
You talk about that made 11 mistakes that have led to goal. How many were in that
5-6
sort of campaign? Easily.
Yeah. Like, it's unforgivable, guys. It really is. There's got to be repercussions for bad performances. So, like I said, I'm glad manager had the balls to make the call to drop him tonight, and I hope he continues into Fulham.
Dragon's Den style like this. I like it. For that reason, I'm out.
It's true. There's got to be repercussions.
He's right.
Yeah. Abraham says, if we sell Garnacho, would you take Ademola Lookman?
Oh yeah, we could, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
sell him to us, have it?
Well, there you go.
Is he going to want to leave them? They're in the Champions League, aren't they?
Compete for the title.
That's what I keep saying about this January transfer window. Everybody keeps saying, just go out there, buy players, and that's not that easy in January. Zay Miassi, the famous Zay Miassi, who we know is an Arsenal fan, is in there. Not as impressive as Arsenal victory. Come on, you Gunners, he says. Funny. Vinny Redward says, Garnacho lacks quality and end product. Here's Ricky Burner accounting here. Ruben is playing him to show the board he needs players in that position, has no one else. Hope Bruno stays in the 8. We've got Viking, who says, our fans need to be as loud as Rangers fans every week. Step it up or shut up. That's a bit of an argument for a different day. So on the goalkeeper, can we wrap it up by saying, in hindsight, I feel this is like aimed at Beth, but did we make a mistake selling David De Gea?
I mean,
she's not here, so we can say it. It's all right. Unless she watches back later on.
Beth's got blood on her hand. I'm going to say it like it is. Holding back.
Or is it back to Eric Ten Hag for the fact that...
No, Beth.
No, it's Beth. No,
Beth didn't spend the money. Beth didn't buy an Arna.
It's Beth.
In fairness, she did mention Raya.
Beth signed the cheque.
Let's be honest though. If De Gea was still here the past 18 months, we wouldn't be any worse. That's just the facts. We wouldn't be worse. So
I think we'd be in a better position.
We might be better, yeah. Probably
would he have made as many mistakes?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Don't get.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on
because I'll just start and I don't.
Okay. Well, in terms of team selection, Bayinda, I think we can all agree, was the biggest sort of curveball that was thrown out there. Toby Collier, Ricky.
Thought he played great.
European debut.
Thought he played great.
I knew this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's a player that you're absolutely going to love.
Yeah.
No frills, energetic, gets up and down the pitch, keeps it simple, as Ricky would say. What did you make of his performance?
I'll just say to a pal of mine, Mark, if you're watching, tell him he was absolutely top class tonight. Absolutely top class.
Who's Mark? His dad?
Friend of his.
Oh,
friend
right,
of mine
good.
and a friend of his.
He's got a big future.
I thought, he looked absolutely classy. Gets around the park. Well, there was one sloppy pass that I remember that he should have done better with. Everyone's going to give it. A lot of people are on my case when I'm talking. We won't change this to Bruno for long. I'll go back to Toby Collier. Everyone's on my case. Somebody said to me the other day, Ahmad gave it away against Brighton as often as it was something like an 80% pass completion and a 79% pass completion. And I'd already watched it once, so I thought I'm going to watch it again. And I watched it again. And when Ahmad's losing it, he's not losing it as poorly as Bruno's losing it. Do you know what I mean? He's taking the man on in the box, because they're talking about how many times you lose it. Taking the man on in the box, he's a winger, he's got to do that occasionally, losing it. There was also a couple of times, by the way, where I thought he got fouled, but the ref didn't give it. If the ref doesn't give it, it goes down as you've lost the ball. Yeah. But to me, it should have been a foul. I thought Ahmad didn't give the ball away anywhere near as sloppily and as often as Bruno did, having been told by somebody that he did. Do you know what I mean? And I've watched it to check it.
And in the position he gives it away.
Yeah. So watching, back to Toby Collier, there was one sloppy pass, as I remember, where I was a bit disappointed, but that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing compared to a certain other player. Do you know what I mean?
Not for a first ever European
fantastic
start.
You're going to lose it once or twice. Keane and Scholes lost it once or twice when they played. Do you know what I mean?
Nobody's perfect.
So no problem with that. And gets around the park well, sees the quick pass. Yeah, dead pleased with it. Yeah.
We've got a poll running. Who starts the next match? So we'll get in there and a vote. Obviously, we just discussed that. Onana or Bayinda. Who would you start for Fulham? Something we'll talk towards the end of the show. But Jordan, Collier, I mean, are you going to sing the praises exactly like Ricky?
I couldn't agree more. I thought he had a great game, played with real confidence, like it was his 50th game, do you know what I mean? 50th start. Great engine on him, up and down, always available, and I think he's got a really, really big future.
I've just seen Red Devil in the chat saying Collier is water carrier role, the most important unsung hero role on a pitch. It is, it's that player, isn't it, Mordzs, that's unselfish, somebody who's prepared to do that. And to an extent, Ugarte was doing that for a few games. There's been a slight drop-off. Nothing wrong with that. You know, Amarin's identified it. He's not continued to kind of play him. He did mix it up this evening. And that is one performance that you look at, especially at a club like Manchester United, where it's sort of built on bringing through youth and that. And when you can see that sort of conveyor belt of players coming through, you kind of look, it gets you excited, doesn't it? Because that is what it's all about. Yeah,
100%. I mean, these guys have pretty much said it already. I'm not going to go as far to say that, you should drop Ugarte or drop anyone. I'm not going to go that far, but he is a great option. He probably saved United about 50 million in the next 3 years, because we're going to be in the next couple of years, we're probably going to, Eriksen's eventually going to leave, Casemiro's going to leave, etc. We're going to be looking for a midfielder. He is probably a player that we would have bought, to try and develop, and because he's got that potential. Yeah. So I think, I mean, to be fair, he did come in, he's been in the team for a while, just not had that many opportunities since last season to kind of play, but now we're seeing him get a bit more confidence. And now if I see him coming on as a sub, or if I see him starting, I'm fine with it. Yeah. I'm not going to be surprised, I'm not going to be like, oh, Colley's coming on, what's going on? I'm thinking, you know what, I know what he's capable of, I know what he can do, and I'm confident in his ability.
You've hit the nail on the head though. I think as a fan base, don't put any pressure on the lad. Just let him develop. Let's not do to him what we've done to Mainu and some of these, the second coming of Rodri. Let's just let him develop and, like you're saying, not drop anyone for him. Just let him make his appearances. If he plays in the Europa League, in the cup games or whatever, let him build and grow into that starting 11.
The manager obviously admires him, because you look at the games that he's actually throwing him into there. There's a few where you thought, was it Liverpool? He threw him in,
20 minutes or whatever.
And you're kind of looking and thinking, wow, and you talk about pressure, us not putting pressure on him. The manager clearly admires this player. If he didn't think he was right, you would not, throw a player into the lion's den and, at the risk of writing him up. If he has a total nightmare, he's obviously got total faith in bringing this player into the first team.
Yeah, but I think there's just a difference with starting him against Rangers and the standard Rangers are at. But I just feel like with Mainu last season, it got to a point where we were sort of like, why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? And it just piles that pressure on. And then when their performances take a dip, it then adds pressure on these young players' shoulders. I just feel like, it's it's a gem. It looks like we've discovered a gem from the academy. Let's just let him develop.
Don't hype him up. Would you agree with that, Ricky? I mean, we were talking earlier about in terms of the midfield. Again, we don't want to base it off a few performances and get all carried away. But if you were looking at Ugarte, let's just say, for instance, Ugarte and Collier, you start looking and thinking, where does Mainu come into it? And we were discussing earlier about Mainu maybe be given an opportunity. We know that Christian Eriksen might leave in the summer. Could Mainu be one of them two number 10s? I would like to see Mainu pushed up a bit forward. In keeping with the Godfather, Ricky's kind of blend of midfield, is that something that you would like to see kind of trialled?
I'd absolutely
to an extent.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Mainu never comes on as a 10, does he? Or even start as a 10, obviously. Yeah. I'd have not. He's such a good turner with the ball, Mainu, when he gets the ball, and it's such a great asset to have that when you're playing as a 10. You receive that ball within 10 yards of the 15 yards of the penalty box. If you know where you feel your man or you see your man and you turn the other way, you pass it out to the wing. That's what you need, and he's great at it. Yeah. So I'd love to see Mainu have a go at that. And I think even this weekend, I've said many times about us, and you brought it up earlier, Kev, about us needing 3 in midfield in these league games. And when Eric, I know you've just said that you predicted that Eriksen would play as a 10 and Bruno a bit deeper. I didn't see the build-up show, but when I saw the lineup, I thought it'd be the other way round. So when Eriksen played in that role, he shows what he can do in that role. He's good at it as well, and the sharp one-touch passing and two-touch passing. We need more than that. But away at Fulham in the league, we need one of the number 10s to be someone who's going to be back,
drop in
quickly. So that we've got a 3 when we're without the ball, and especially when we're without the ball in our own half, they need to be there rapid. I'd love to see Ugarte and Collier start with Mainu a bit further forward.
Yeah, genuinely, that 4 midfield, obviously with Ahmad, I know Ahmad played kind of right wing back today, but in that second 10, it kind of just gives. I know whatever your opinion is on Bruno, it is what it is. But just giving him a break, like even today,
we're frightened of.
It's balanced.
No, I mean like just give Bruno. Just say Bruno, you played probably 25 games in a row now this season. Take a break, and those 4 players, genuinely, I don't think there'll be a drop in performance. I don't think, even though I'm a big Bruno fan, but those 4 players, I'm excited to see what that looks like. With Mainu, Ahmad, Collier and Ugarte, you've got the legs in behind, no complaining about legs. Mainu naturally will drop in deeper anyway because he's that kind of player. Then you've got Ahmad and Mainu as well, being those 2 10s with quick footwork and being in around the box. I feel like the balance is there. I
think it'd be brilliant.
I think it is,
really do.
What did you say, Ricky? Before the match, you thought it was going to be Eriksen.
I thought Eriksen would be a bit deeper. I thought Bruno
and Collier.
I just thought Bruno would stay in his normal position.
That's a great observation by you, because it didn't even cross my mind. And my worry at that stage, and you're going to hate me for saying this, but is that old thing of, I know when we mentioned about Casemiro and Eriksen being in the midfield, no legs, and I know that drives you crazy saying, but my concern was that you're going to have Collier, who's going to be all action all over the place, and Eriksen is not the quickest, don't get me wrong, but in football terms he'll give and go and spin off. But I thought it was a really good move from Amorim to identify that and play Eriksen like that in a game this evening.
He watched the show and listened to me.
Yeah. He changed his team.
I just looked at the substitutions he's made when he's brought Collier on, and it seems to have been Bruno alongside him. So that's why I sort of put that together. But yeah, it definitely worked.
Yeah,
definitely worked. He looked great.
And on the match, obviously, we'll say the match incidents or the main incidents. There was the disallowed De Ligt goal.
Oh, terrible.
We've had the opportunity to see that. Have you seen it back, Ricky?
I saw it at half time, that in the bar, yeah.
It's terrible.
Soft one?
Looks a soft one, yeah.
Well, when you've got Ali McCoist on TNT, big Rangers fan, and even he said it was soft.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rio Ferdinand was going to say that, but Ali McCoist even said,
It's a proper soft. He did nudge him, but I've seen nudges like that 1,000 times in the box not get given.
It's a terrible decision.
It was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, wasn't it? There was a bit of grappling going on.
It's one of those where if we hadn't gone on to win the game, or if we'd lost it, we would all be losing our heads right now looking at that, because that was really soft.
Obviously the Butland own goal. I tell you something I did want to touch on, and I'm sure Ricky will have picked up on this as well.
Yeah.
Set pieces.
Yeah, corners. They're working on the corners. We spoke
since we've been to the Emirates. I think I do think they've taken a leaf out of there.
Yeah. And I think it was Beth who said Arsenal's corners are great, and I said they're a Premier League football club.
Should be out.
Every Premier League football club should have great corners. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not hard. I mentioned that. Well, he'll be about 40 now, but I mentioned a young kid that I used to watch when he was about 13. Brian Wilson. He had a professional career. And I used to watch him in Sunday League when he was about 13. He could take a great corner when he was 13. Why can't all Premier League clubs take a great corner? And our manager has obviously picked up on it, and we're swinging dangerous balls under the bar time after time after time now.
I'm had to put in great corners.
Why have we not been doing that for 5 years under Solskjaer and Ten Hag?
The big thing for me today was, it's almost like I'm agreeing with you, Bruno would infuriate you with his corners because he never clears the first man. It was clear today that Ahmad's deliveries, just this evening, based on that game, were just as deadly as Declan Rice's have been in that game that they played against us, against Arsenal. It was pinpoint, it was on the keeper. Like you said, it's not out swinging, it's in swinging. So much more dangerous. And you had the likes of De Ligt, Maguire, Yoro, whoever it was, off them corners.
We got a goal from one. We don't get many goals from that.
Exactly.
That one.
And it was
people couldn't deal with it.
Yeah. Well, even the goal that was ruled out, that I believe was unfairly ruled out. Yeah. Really, we've scored 2 goals in that game from set pieces. When have we ever said that about Man United?
Yeah, it's mad to think that it's taken this long to understand what a good corner is, to put the ball in the net from a corner. Literally, Arsenal, maybe, I feel like people got credit to Arsenal, to be fair, because they've just understood that if you have a good in-swinging corner, you put it on the keeper's head, it's going to be very difficult, and you surround that keeper with players, it's going to be very difficult to avoid the ball from going in the net. And all it takes is one touch. It doesn't have to be a touch from our player. It can be a touch from anyone. We conceded the same goal against, was it Brighton, or the game before that? It was a corner, and Onana was in there, and it was an own goal. I can't remember what the goal was, but the exact same thing happened. It was an in-swinger, right on the keeper, and one of their players headed it in. It's common sense. All you need is two corner kick takers, one with a very good left foot like Ahmad, and one with a very good right foot like Eriksen, and that's all you need.
It's not asking too much of a multi-millionaire professional footballer, is it? To
swing the ball in underneath
to take a corner. Is it that hard?
No, and it was definitely a marked improvement both ends of the pitch. I think with set pieces.
It's clear, isn't it, that has been worked on. That's something where I looked today and thought
it couldn't get any worse.
I actually got excited getting a corner, whereas usually I think,
we might have a chance here.
What's the bloody point? It's not going to clear the first man. We're going to be on the back foot here, tracking back because we've sent men up front and all that. Let me see. kikc says, would you take João Felix on the Garnacho deal? Someone we were talking to earlier. No. I like this, just addressing these super chats, but Jordan's keeping it short and sweet. Thanks for your input, mate. No.
Did anyone, I don't know if you guys seen it, did it look to you like Garnacho was clapping the fans and saying goodbye at the end?
Oh,
I didn't see it.
Did it? Anyone in the comments? I don't know, I just seen just something on the TV and it looked like he was sort of...
Maybe he's just thanking them.
No, I don't know.
Well, it felt like he was clapping them saying bye.
It looked.
Producer Greg's telling me he had his hands in the air as if he was saying thank you.
Yeah. Is there anyone else in the comments pick up on that, guys?
We'll see. People will get in there. They would certainly will.
Conspiracy.
I know. I don't want to.
Conspiracy. And then he stays.
It just looked like a goodbye. That's what it looked.
You might be reading a bit too much into this.
I don't know.
Suraj on the super chat says Toby versus Mainu. Toby is a better box to box, in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of legs, yeah, you can get box to box quicker.
Yeah.
But technically, you'd say that Mainu is
still better.
So if you can take the two of them, make some kind of mad hybrid, you've got the perfect midfielder, box to box.
They're different players and they're better in different positions. I really feel, like I said earlier, I'd love to see Mainu in that 10.
I think it's an interesting one because people are reacting. Another super chat from Anthony Tracy says, Mainu is a number 10, but like Pogba, low goals, stroke assists.
Low goals, stroke.
Well, you wouldn't know unless you play him in that. Well, Anthony Tracy obviously knows something we don't. But thank you very much for your input. But that is, it's certainly an area of the pitch where you think, you know, we've not tried it. What's the worst that could happen? I suppose it depends what game you trial it in, because if it doesn't go right, then it's on the manager.
Can I just say, what's he called? Anthony Tracy.
Anthony Tracy, yeah.
Can I just say, has he not scored quite a lot of goals for a number 6? You know, the goal in the cup final, the goal at Wolves, the goal against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well, it's a reverse of Roy Keane. It's not his job.
Quite a lot of goals, hasn't he?
And to be fair,
It's not his job, is it? It's
the
not his
goals
job
that he scored have come from him being further up the pitch. So not like the long range efforts or anything. He scored from being in the box. So
on the speculation as well about Garnacho, United Chow said Enzo Fernandez posted a picture with him and Garnacho. Oh, it's a fake account of being told. Fake news. No?
No.
Producer Greg's telling me it's a fake account.
Oh, if it is, I bet.
Yeah, because he showed me it before.
Yeah, I bet. Is it definitely a fake account?
Is it definitely fake? Can we clear this one up? Right.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to read out that gambling website.
Is it not true that Napoli have been over and discussed a transfer? And
according to reports, Conte spoke to Garnacho, what was it, last Friday on the phone. Right. So it's up to the two teams.
But they're both Argentinian players, so it's not crazy for them to take a picture.
So it could be. They might have had a picture on what international duty. They both play for Argentina, don't they?
Yeah.
We'll put that one to bed. We'll bury it. Let's bury that. And let's go to Ricky for the winning goal. We're talking about the main key incidents of this game. There obviously wasn't that many, but Ricky, did you cheer?
Yeah.
I'm only winding you up. As if
it was a great goal. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say once it went in, I went, you just imagine Ricky stood in the crowd. Gritted teeth. Bruno.
It was a great goal.
Great ball, Martinez.
Great ball in by Martinez. It was a brilliant goal. Especially having just had a kick in the teeth with them scoring 2 or 3 minutes earlier.
That pass
it was
from
a brilliant
Martinez.
Goal. But people are already on me, aren't they? You know, look at Bruno.
You're never going to...
Do you know what I mean? He's got the winning goal against the championship team. It's true though, isn't it? I mean, don't
throw yourself to that level, Ricky. Come on.
Seriously.
Go on.
We're getting battered from pillar to post week in, week out in the Premier League. And he suddenly scores a goal and it's, look at that. You know
Get on Instagram. Where's that, Ricky? The Football Philosophy channel. I'm getting onto him, I'll tell him. Jordan, great finish.
Great finish. Unbelievable ball. That ball shouldn't need to come from one of our centre-backs.
Yeah,
We've got
players, it's insane that the pass.
We've got players in the 10 that should be able to provide. But yeah, great finish. And it's just Bruno doing Bruno things, isn't it? You know, he can give the ball away a million times in a game or whatnot, but he still manages to pop up with a goal or an assist, and then it just takes the pressure off him a little bit. But yeah,
good switch from Amorim as well. You have to remember he did start this game as a 6. You know, made the changes in midfield, pushed Bruno further forward. Yes, it's down to Bruno. It's down to Martinez. The pass. It's everything, Mordzs, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, this is one of the reasons why I'm still an advocate for Bruno. It's just because I genuinely don't know who else in the team would have scored that goal. I'm talking about the players that were on the pitch at that moment. Who else would have scored it? Because none of our strikers scored that goal. Let's be very honest. They're not even in that position to score the goal.
They're not
running in.
They're not time the runs in well, do they?
Even if they were, they probably missed. Let's be honest. And you look at the other. Maybe Ahmad might be the only player you could say might score that goal. But I mean, Garnacho chances that he missed.
What we try to do, though, Mordzs, or what I would like us to try to do, is play better. I've said
everyone wants that.
times about Bruno. You know, of course it's important that he gets that winning goal, but we need to play better, we need to look after the ball better, we need to make more chances, we need to score more goals and not need that goal in injury time. That's what we need to be aiming for, to be a better team. Yeah. And I don't believe we'll be a better team with Bruno playing regularly in the team. Great that he got that goal tonight, dead important goal, but we should be able to play against, again, no disrespect, but we should be aiming to be 3 or 4-0 up against teams like that, and not need
overall.
That,
basically, you're saying the performance wasn't there, but the goal. Because
well, I'm not just talking about tonight. I'm talking about in general. It's okay him coming up with that winning goal, but I'd like us. When I say more often, how many times does it happen that we're 3-0 up against anybody? 3 or 4. Put games to bed by playing well, creating more chances. That's what we need to do. If we could have won 4 games in the Premier League without Bruno even playing and us playing better or him not needing to score the goal, I would forego that winning goal tonight for that. Do you understand? I want us to play better on a more regular basis.
In terms of when we talk about number 10s at the club, Mordzs, Ahmad started this game. Oh, well, it was right wing back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, the left back situation is huge at United. We don't know whether United are going to invest in the market. Malacia come on today. Thought he did all right. Showed some signs of, looked up for the fight and stuff. But I think we can agree. You do take something away from Ahmad when you're playing him as a right wing back. And would you say, looking further forward, it's certainly not a position that you'd want him to nail down? It has to be the number 10 role to be more effective?
I mean, he's scored a lot of goals, hasn't he? From the wing?
I don't mind him. I feel he's got more space to run into, and he can. Sorry, I'm just answering.
No, go on.
Yeah, come at me, boys. I'm just asking the questions.
I don't mind him at wing back. I don't. I feel like he's got more space to run into. We can counter quicker because of his pace. He dominates that one side. The only thing is, I think, defensively we might be missing something with him going the other way, but I'm not totally against it.
It does seem to be a tactic in the last kind of few games that late on he's then given this licence to kind of roam, doesn't it? Yeah. He'll do his defensive duties, he's in the game, and then I don't know whether it's an Amorim thing, but kind of the last 20 minutes or so, he starts to creep forward then. And in effect, he is kind of playing that number 10 role, just not from the start of the game. It must be something of Amorim where we stay in the game, we stay compact, we do this, and then later on, Ricky, he's further forward.
With him creeping further forward, as he did tonight, I noticed it from where I was sat, and I was sat a little bit higher up today than I normally sit, looking down at it. And I could see the team shape, and when he brought Malacia on, Dalot switched to right-sided centre-back, and Ahmad was right wing-back. So it was Dalot, Maguire and Yoro.
Yeah.
Ahmad was right wing-back, and Malacia was left wing-back. But Ahmad was so far up the field. Obviously, he comes back when they break, but they didn't break very often, to be fair. They only got a goal and one chance. But for the last 15 to 20 minutes, to me, it was more like a 4-4-2. But because Ahmad was so far forward, Dalot had to keep pushing out to the right, so he was more or less playing right back. And then up top, Bruno, it was Bruno and Xerxes, followed by Bruno and Højlund, and then there was Garnacho out to the left. There was 2 in the middle, and honestly, it looked to me like a proper out-and-out 4-4-2 for the last 50 minutes. And I know he won't see it like that, and he won't change his format, but it's just how the game felt, because Ahmad was so far up, you can't just leave a massive gap to the right. Yeah. So Dalot was more or less playing right back when he's supposed to be playing right centre-back.
Yeah.
Agree, Jordan? I just thought
it might not be easy to see from certain positions on the field.
I didn't notice it, but we also remember that's Dalot reverted to type as well, because right back is his natural position. So if there's a gap there, he's naturally going to go. I need to be in there. Are we concerned about these defensive knocks? Because we had 2 centre backs go off today, didn't we?
Yes, I was actually going to touch on that. You just ruined it slightly for the look ahead to Fulham, the defensive crisis. But
Jordan, he's asking the question. You're answering him.
No, if you want to sit here, if you want to be in the hot seat, Jordan.
I told you I've been on smoke all day. I've not been on for like 2 months. Just let me do my thing. It was only because you said Yoro, and then I thought to myself, who replaced Yoro when Yoro come off then? We'd had a couple of changes at the back. I'll wait for you, Kev.
Sorry, Martinez, wasn't it?
That's why.
Sorry, my mistake. My mistake.
That's why I brought it up.
But Dalot was still right-sided centre-back.
Right, okay.
Right, let's clear some super chats.
Obviously it was Martinez, he made the goal.
Jake says, what does Ricky think about Glazers and Ineos only spending fans' cash and not pumping their own in? Is FFP an excuse? Is this managed decline? United Chow says, right, get Ineos out and Ricky in. There's a bit of positivity for this evening. Gosti says, cool under pressure, good finisher and penalty taker, strong in the centre of the pitch. Bruno is a key part of the system. I think it's very clear that Ricky certainly did not send that in, or any member of his family is certainly not sending that super chat. But thank you. Ryan says, I believe we need to forget about the old United standards and accept that tonight was a good performance from this team's standards. I think we could, if we were doing it on a weekly basis, and that's where maybe one game where you look at and you go, sign of a good team, did play well, like Southampton the other week. We were very disappointed, even though we won, we were disappointed with the performance because Southampton are bottom of the league and it's leaving us with more questions than answers every week, isn't it? Well,
Southampton had someone that could finish, we would have lost that game.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They drummed us in the first half.
Yeah. Ronnie Dodge says Dorgu comes for left wing back. Who starts right wing back? Dallo or Noose?
Who? Oh yeah, Noose. That's Mazraoui's first name.
I've not seen Dorgu play. How much is he costing? Sorry, that's not
20,
really
27.
Yeah, no.
How old is he?
20. Young.
20.
When Dorgu signs, here's my prediction.
Here we go.
Dalot will play left wing back. That's my prediction. And then you'll still be between Mazraoui and Ahmad for the right wing back spot.
Wow.
There's my prediction.
So you saying like he'll be like rotated in?
I've not even seen the kid play.
Oh.
I said on a show the other day that it's difficult finding players for cheap, which is relatively cheap, isn't it? And somebody said to me, Brighton do it. I think it was Beth said it. Brighton do it. They do it. I've not seen this kid play, right? Dalot's a really strong horse. He's rapid. I've watched that Brighton game back twice, and I thought he played a lot better than we gave him credit for. He's getting in behind, and by the way, obviously having watched it twice, I've heard the co-commentator was Ben Thornley. I've listened to Ben Thornley on MUTV. If you're watching Ben,
talks his
sense, Ben Thornley, and he said, right near the end of the game, he said, I've got to give Dalot his credit today. Proper hard-working lad, always looking to get in behind, which he did a few times. I'll be surprised if this kid displaces him.
Well, they've asked for 40 million for him.
40?
It's 40 million they've asked for him.
Yeah.
And is it Napoli that have said they're interested in him and they're going to loan him back?
Well, it's Manchester United. They're going to see us coming, aren't they? Sounded like Gary Neville then. It's Manchester United.
Someone else has gone in for him and have offered to loan him straight back.
Napoli.
It is Napoli, yeah. Yeah, I think we might have issues signing him. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. But Sam will know more.
David Arthur says, I think Malacia gives us better balance. He has not been a liability defensively. Ahmad gets more space as a wing back. Something you've just alluded to, that you've got no issue with Ahmad playing as a right wing back. I think we should touch on Malacia very quickly, Mordzs. Come on. Again, we're going to be beaten with this stick that Ricky was just beating us with then, saying we're getting too hyped up about a win in the Europa League because it's just Rangers and that. But he tries paying no disrespect to Rangers by saying that.
As I've said 6 times.
Yeah, it's just no disrespect.
Yeah. With Malacia, if I'm being honest, I just feel like he played a good game against a team that's his level. That's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to say. It's not like I'm going to say start him in the weekend. No, like he just played against a good team. Which if he played in the Scottish League, he'd probably play for Rangers. So that's it.
Let's see how we do against Fulham.
Right. What we will do, that's going to be a difficult game as well. Obviously, that's going to be what Yoro's gone off with an injury. De Ligt going off with an injury again. God knows what will happen in the week. But we always end on the fan forum. We'll do Beth's magic moment first. Should be Kev's magic moment, man. But she is in the next room over there. She'll probably hear me. But we'll start from the outside, Ricky. I think I've got mine in mind, but it's... Do you know how this works? Jordan's like, what the hell's going on here?
You just think of a brilliant moment in the game, don't you? Or something that happens.
That's it.
And can I go last? I'm trying to think.
Go on, Mords.
I'm still thinking.
Do you know what? I've got 2 actually. Yeah.
Go on, you go first. 2 and let us vote on them.
The first one, all right, we'll throw it out to the floor. The first one, first half, ball up in the air, comes down, Ahmad.
Touch.
Bang.
Yeah.
Dead.
Like Juan Mata.
Yeah.
Juan Mata.
Prime Juan Mata, I'll give you that. There's a great clip of Juan Mata if nobody's ever seen that.
Yeah.
Similar kind of thing. I think it's out near the North Stand, isn't it? And it just
kills it
bangs.
dead.
You can't teach that, it's natural talent. The other one has to be Lisandro Martinez's pass for the Bruno goal.
Yeah.
What are you voting for? Come on, it's a democracy here.
I might have to go for the pass. I feel like a touch is. I feel like if you're a professional footballer, a touch shouldn't be impressive. I don't know. I'm impressed.
There's lots of them who get it wrong.
They know they are, but I'm sorry, but professional footballer playing for Man United and it's a good first touch. Like, come on, like I get it, like.
Let us know in the comment section what you're thinking.
But I'd say I know Martinez is. That pass from Martinez, it's not the first time he's done it as well. The Ahmad goal against City, similar thing. Ahmad's running behind, and if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have won that game.
Yeah, they scored today as well, Martinez. It's cracking effort,
wasn't it? The shot as well. So
I think Martinez's assist, considering he's a centre back.
Go on, I'll go for that. So it's a clean sweep.
There. We're all going for that, I like that.
Yeah.
Good job I'm here, innit? Everyone would be still sat here, Ricky, going, go somebody else. Leave me, I can't think. I've had 3 pints at half time, I can't think. And we will end in style with, I'm coming back to you, Ricky, you can't have time to think about this. You must, you know your man of the match deep down for this evening.
Deep down, Toby Collier.
Brilliant shout.
Good shout.
I agree. Yeah, I thought he was really, really impressive.
I want to go someone different then. I'm going to say...
I like it, Mordzs, mix it up.
You haven't got anyone else? Just clean sweep it.
Okay,
I'm struggling.
Okay, I'll go with Collier.
Mine's Collier. I can tell you that the United Stand viewers for Mark's player ratings, who do you think the United Stand community went with?
Bruno Fernandes.
It's not Toby Collier.
It's not Bruno.
Not Bruno Fernandes.
Bayanda.
No.
Martinez.
No. We could be here all night.
Ericsson.
No.
I don't know anyone else he could be. Ahmad.
No. You might as well just run through the... Wow. You're running out of options here now.
What?
Xerxes.
No.
Euro.
No.
He also Delict.
No.
Dalot.
No.
What?
Oh, you have
named everyone.
You've not.
Named everybody but
You've
one.
left somebody out. We were talking about the start of the video. Could potentially leave it.
Garnacho.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my God!
I forgot he played.
I
forgot.
Listen, you can't
man of the match.
Yeah, the United Stand community.
I said he had a good game, but man of the match is.
Yeah, overwhelming favourite for man of the match percentage wise. I get a hint here that you boys are not agreeing with this.
I can't agree with that. My honest opinion is I am absolutely gobsmacked that Antonio Conte is interested in signing him. Yeah. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. He doesn't strike me as a Conte type of player. Big,
I don't see him as a Chelsea kind of player, to be honest.
I don't see it. But,
I don't know.
He's just got man of the match.
Yeah. I can't believe you literally just named every single player apart from Garnacho.
I completely forgot he played.
I'm sat there thinking, have they already said this?
I almost forgot he played.
Yeah.
So that's how we he named 7 players.
All right, I've improved slightly since then. I did miss half the team. That was in the old days. I did miss out half the team. And what else? I did something else.
Yeah, you still missed another 2, Kev.
Yeah.
Have I?
Just ended it. You were like, we've got about another 10 players to go through. I was like, oh. Listen, Ricky, it's been great as always. Great insight.
Enjoyed it, mate.
Jordan, great to see you. Hopefully you'll be back soon as well.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And tablets are kicking in.
Yeah. I love it, guys. Can't wait to come back.
He's got his happy smiley face now.
Yeah.
And Mordzs, thanks as always, mate.
Hope we can get another win on the weekend.
Yeah.
You're on a weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunday night, isn't it? What's all that about? Sunday night.
7 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Is it 7 o'clock?
I thought 7 o'clock.
They don't make much
7 o'clock kick-off Sunday,
yeah. Right, well, stay tuned here on the United Stand. You'll get your daily fix, as always, of everything Manchester United in terms of content. What are you saying, Greg? Oh, and we've got a Toby Collier interview. This is obviously what Beth was at Old Trafford this evening. Ooh. And you did say Ricky's favourite player? Oh, and a Bruno Fernandes interview coming up as well, but that will not be out until Saturday. All that leaves for me to say is thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the super chats and the interaction. You've been watching the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. This was the United Stand. Good night.